The story of the Curse of Ötzi is a fascinating modern legend that grew from a series of tragic and coincidental events. Here is the full account, separating the established facts from the mythologized curse. The discovery, September 19, 1991. The story begins with two German tourists, Erika and Helmut Simon, from Nuremberg. While hiking off the path near the Similon mountain in the Italian Alps, on the border between Austria and Italy, they stumbled upon what they initially thought was a doll or a discarded mountaineer. Upon closer inspection, they realized with shock that it was a human corpse partially frozen in the ice, its skin leathery and desiccated. They took a single photo and reported their find to the authorities. The body was carefully extracted from the ice with crude tools, including a pneumatic drill that slightly damaged the left hip, and taken to Innsbruck, Austria. It was only then that archaeologists realized the immense significance of the find. Through radiocarbon dating, the body was revealed to be over 5,300 years old, from the Copper Age, c. 3300 BCE. He was named Ötzi, or the Iceman, after the Ötztal region where he was found. He was not just a mummy, he was an unprecedented time capsule complete with clothing, tools, weapons, and even his last meals. The curse, the unfortunate fates of those connected. The notion of a curse did not emerge immediately. It began to take shape years later as several people closely involved in the discovery and recovery of Ötzi met with untimely deaths. The media, always eager for a sensational story, began linking these events, dubbing it Ötzi's curse or the mummy's curse, echoing the legend surrounding Tutankhamun's tomb. Here are the key figures whose fates fueled the curse narrative. 1. Rainer Henn, 64, the death that started it all. Role: head of the Innsbruck University forensic team who first examined Ötzi. Fate: in 1992, just a year after the discovery, Henn was killed in a head-on car collision while on his way to a conference where he was due to give a talk about Ötzi. Curse link: he was the first person to handle the body extensively. His death was the first major curse event. Dykert Fritz, 52. Role: the renowned mountain guide who led the team that recovered Ötzi from the ice. He was instrumental in the difficult and delicate operation. Fate: in 1993, Fritz led a group of tourists on a mountain hike when they were caught in an avalanche. While he successfully saved his group, he was buried and killed. Curse link: he was the one who disturbed Ötzi's final resting place. Rainer Hölzel, 44. Role: the filmmaker who produced the documentary Ötzi the Iceman, The Mystery of the Stone Age Man from the Glacier. He was the only journalist allowed to film the initial autopsy. Fate: in 1993, he died of a mysterious brain tumor. The rapid onset and severity of the tumor were seen as suspicious. Curse link: he was the one who commercialized or told Ötzi's story to the world. First, Helmut Simon, 67, the discoverer. Role: co-discoverer of Ötzi with his wife Erika. He became a minor celebrity and received a finder's reward, which led to a legal battle. Fate: in October 2004, 13 years after the discovery, Helmut Simon went missing during a hiking trip in the Austrian Alps. A massive search was launched. His body was found days later in a stream, having fallen over 100 meters, 300 ft, during a blizzard. Curse link: this was the most powerful fuel for the curse. The man who found Ötzi had himself died a cold, lonely death on a mountain, just like the Iceman. Dieter Warnecke, 45. Role: the head of the mountain rescue team that searched for Helmut Simon. Fate: just 1 hour after attending Helmut Simon's funeral in November 2004, Warnecke suffered a fatal heart attack. Curse link: this seemed like a particularly cruel and direct extension of the curse, striking down someone who had merely tried to help the discoverer. 6. Konrad Spindler, 66, the lead scientist. Role: the lead archaeologist and initial chief examiner of Ötzi from Innsbruck University. He was the foremost expert on the Iceman and famously quipped, "I expect the next thing will be that I will be next," when asked about the curse. Fate: in April 2005, he died from complications of multiple sclerosis, a condition he had been battling for years. Curse link: despite his public dismissal of the curse, his death was inevitably added to the list. 7. Tom Loy, 63. Role: a molecular archaeologist who studied the DNA found on Ötzi's tools and clothing. He made significant discoveries about Ötzi's final violent struggle. Fate. In 2005, he was found dead in his Brisbane, Australia home. He had been suffering from a rare blood disease. The media reported he had mysteriously died before he could publish a book on his findings. Here's link. He was delving too deep into the secrets of Ötzi's death. The full true story, debunking the curse. While the string of deaths is undeniably eerie, scientists, statisticians, and historians overwhelmingly reject the notion of a supernatural curse. Here is the rational explanation. 1. The law of large numbers. Hundreds of people were involved in the recovery, study, and exhibition of Ötzi. When a group is that large, statistically, a certain number of people will die over a decade from various causes like heart attacks, car accidents, and illnesses. We notice the coincidences and ignore the vast majority of people who were involved and are perfectly fine, including Erica Simon, the co-discoverer. High-risk professions. Many involved were avid mountaineers, climbers, and rescuers. Their hobbies and professions inherently carry a higher risk of fatal accidents. Kurt Fritz died doing what he loved and was expert at, guiding in the mountains. The same environment that claimed Ötzi is still dangerous today. 3 natural causes. Rainer Hölzel died of a tumor, Konrad Spindler from a long-standing illness, and Dieter Warnecke from a heart attack. These are common causes of death that affect millions of people unrelated to ancient mummies. 4. The power of suggestion. Once the curse narrative was planted by the media, every subsequent death of anyone even tangentially related to Ötzi was viewed through that lens. It became a self-fulfilling prophecy. The story is compelling because our brains are wired to find patterns even where none exist. The true legacy of Ötzi. The real story of Ötzi is not one of a curse, but one of incredible scientific wonder. His preserved body has provided an unparalleled window into Neolithic life. Cause of death. We now know he did not die of exposure. CT scans revealed an arrowhead lodged in his left shoulder that severed a major artery. He also had a deep knife wound on his hand and brain trauma, indicating he was the victim of a violent murder or ambush. His life. Analysis of his stomach contents, tools, a copper axe, flint knife, bow and arrows, clothing, carefully stitched together from various animals, and even his 61 tattoos, possibly for pain relief like acupuncture, has revolutionized our understanding of the Copper Age. His health. He had whipworm parasites, Lyme disease, worn joints, and advanced atherosclerosis, showing that even 300 years ago, people suffered from modern ailments. The Curse of Ötzi is a powerful modern myth, a classic example of how tragedy and coincidence can be woven into a supernatural narrative. While the deaths were real and tragic, they are explainable by statistics, risk, and natural causes. The true power of Ötzi lies not in an imagined vengeance from beyond the grave, but in the profound knowledge he has given us about our own ancient past. He is a silent witness to a forgotten time, and his value to humanity is infinitely greater than any spooky legend.